My name is Rick Warner, and I'm a servant of God, a flawed servant of God. And I just want to make something very clear. If I share something or I send you something, I might not necessarily agree with it or think it's a good thing, but I want you to see it because we're plugged into what we want, and that's natural. But what does the Bible or in the scriptures talk about? Not only what is good, it goes into detail about God and God's character and what is good. It also goes into certain detail, not so far as to give place to the devil, but to be aware of enemies. And we don't fight against people. We fight against principalities and powers and ideas. And so my goal is to preserve life and bring all souls to heaven and to go to my end with no blood on my hands. To be innocent, to stand before God, and for him to say, well done, good and faithful servant. When I share information, I'm always thinking about the type of people I'm sharing information with and what they will do with it. And if anyone if you understand there are many groups, factions, nations, secret societies, like the CS, the FBI and others, that are making plans against other people that are God's children. They're making plans because they believe those people are making plans against them. And so they're making more plans, and they're getting ready to attack, and they're getting ready to hurt each other, and God doesn't want any of this. He never wanted any of this. From the time that Cain killed Abel, God already knew it would happen. It's like when kids are all playing together, and one of them picks up a stick or something, one of the first things they're going to think about is to whop the other person. They don't know it's a bad thing. They're just going to whop somebody. But we come to think about God's character, and you should stand in the gap and say, I desire to go with you to God to preserve your soul. Do not let me do any harm or do any evil. And I will also not let you do any harm or do any evil. That goes without saying for those who do not choose the right thing. They don't have good judgment. They don't care about right and wrong. They only want... And I'm not going to define those as a people, because there's people on the earth right now using the weather to kill other people. They're using the pharmacy system to kill other people. They're using guns to kill other people. That's kind of an old one. They're using politics. They're using media. They're using the hospital system, the healthcare system. All of these things God does not want done. I've been in a lot of places. People think that I work for some great organization, but I've never worked for any of the organizations. And the organizations, they see me and they all want me to be on their team, but pretty much none of them let me in because they have a feeling that I work for someone greater than them. And that's true. I work for the Most High God. When I was 15 and I prayed to God, I saw this hummingbird. And of course, if people want to talk about my sins, God knows my sins. And I don't usually hide them unless I feel like someone's just trying to hurt me. When I was 15, I saw this hummingbird. And I prayed to God. I want to hold it. I want to hold it in my hand. And this hummingbird, 30 seconds after I prayed that prayer, now I thought, it's a silly prayer. God wouldn't do it, but I said in my heart, God, you could do it if you wanted to. And he did it. That hummingbird hit a spider web, and I went down and I picked that bird up, and I pulled the web off, and that bird just chilled out of my hand for a few seconds, and then he peacefully flew off. I was tearful, and the little bird was happy. It's part of God's creation. God spoke to me, and he said, you're my child, and I love you. And I want to speak to all the people who are planning to do something against another person. You'll have to do it over my dead body. And some people are already ready to do that. It says in the last days that it will be better for those who are already dead. So don't threaten me with a good time. Even though I'm not suicidal at all. And if I die, you should know it's nefarious. But I do desire to go be with God in a healthy way. I'm tired. Even though I'm young and strong, I'm tired. I want to go be with my Father. And on the other side of things, there was one man who was scoffing at a warning he was given. And he had built his house foolishly, basically. And my dad gave him a warning that he needed to build a wall, otherwise his house was going to get flooded. And the way he scoffed and laughed in my dad's face was so disgusting to me that I prayed a prayer against him. And my prayer was specific. I said, let him not be harmed, but let him learn, and let him learn quickly. And, some of these places are in 10, 20-year floodplains. He had owned that land for probably 8 years. And it was in a dry creek bed. And things shift. And there was a legendary flood. And it was and people say, well, Rick, it's not your prayer. Well, these are in 10 to 20-year floodplains. And 2 weeks after I prayed that prayer, he was getting his family out of his house in a canoe. And that was an answer to my prayer. I also prayed other prayers that were answered, both blessings and punishment. And if you're a kosher Christian, you don't understand the nature of Christ, you should want not the damnation of the soul, but you should want people to get a spanking so that their soul is saved. And I would encourage people to do the right thing, be aware, get together with people and connect with people. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that in my own life. And I love all of you, and I pray that you go to be with God in heaven. And of course, I should end with the plan of salvation is, and the ordinances which are physical in the New Testament given. He said, go into all the world, preach the gospel, and baptize in my name. So we're to be baptized. This destroys the old man, and it's not a one-time thing. It's a continuous process that should be daily done. And we die to ourselves, and we're raised again so we can take part with Christ. Unless we die to ourselves, we cannot take part with Christ. Look at Romans 6. Look at Acts 2. Look at Acts 7. It talks about the Lord's Supper. It's an emblem and memorial, and it was done to remember Jesus, so we continually remember. And there are many other things, but I don't have time to talk about them all. But study the Word of God, and I pray that you are blessed.